Vanakkam, Namaskar, and good evening, everybody. My name is NC Bipindra. I'm the managing trustee of Center for South Indian Studies, which is the host of today's evening's broadcast. This judgment of the Madras High Court Division Bench was delivered by Justice N. Kribakaran and concurred by Justice P. Velu Murugan. And this judgment dealt with a decade-long dispute between Hindu and Muslim communities living in a village in Tamil Nadu on the conduct of certain Hindu festivals and religious processions in that village. This is a significant judgment on religious tolerance and pluralism in India, about which probably you may not have read or heard it in the Indian media today. But that is precisely why we are hosting this event, to highlight on this important judgment that will have far-reaching implications, about which we'll be hearing from our eminent speakers today. This judgment has been ignored, but it's a landmark judgment, as I mentioned earlier, regarding the happenings in a village called Kalatur, which is about 300 kilometers from Chennai, Tamil Nadu's capital, in the central part of the Tamil Nadu state, the southernmost part of India. The court has made some very significant observations in this judgment. But before I go into those observations, let me just mention some of the key facts in my own words on what the problem was and how the court dealt with it. This is, regarding Hindus of Kalatur village. They have been hosting and holding the religious festivals and processions, passing through all the streets of Kalatur village for decades or even for centuries now. And they have been using the government land in that village for centuries now for holding these festivals. In fact, Kalatur has four important temples, which are namely Lakshmi Narayana Perumal Temple, Seliamman Temple, Rayappa Temple, and Mariamman Temple. These are the key important temples there, and the festivals of these temples used to happen in that village for quite a while. However, in 2012, the village's Muslim population had grown. By the time it was 2012, the Muslim population had grown to a significant proportion, and the community was occupying 100% of the houses on a few village streets in the village. And they had also built a mosque in one of the villages there, on one of the streets there in the village. Because of the growing numbers and strength of the Muslim population, they now in 2012 started demanding the ban on the Hindu festivals and processions happening in the streets that they occupied completely. They called the Hindu festivals and processions as shirk, which loosely translates to sin or illegal or immoral for Puritan Muslims. They basically wanted a ban on the Hindu festivals and processions there. Just to deviate from the facts of the case, this kind of a ghetto mindset and Muslim enclaves is not new in India. This has been there since the pre-independence days, and and this has led to the partition of India in 1947, which we all know. And Tamil Nadu itself is not alien to these kind of conflicts that we have, community conflicts that we have seen. Mela Visharam and Kila Visharam are significant examples of that conflict, of how the two communities have had a problem and how the Muslim community, once it becomes dominant in a particular locality, has tried to stop Hindu festivals and processions in those areas. Triplicane in the heart of Chennai is another great example of this kind of societal problem that we see. So that is precisely why this judgment is quite significant. Due to these clashes that happened in the Kalatur village, the district administration intervened, and since 2012, it has allowed the Hindu festivals and procession to happen. However, the matter was taken to the courts based on the challenging order of the district administration. A single judge bench favored the Hindus and allowed the festivals to happen. However, the conditions that were imposed on the Hindus were not acceptable, and then the Hindu community went to a division bench in an appeal, and the Muslim community also went against the district administrative order and the single judge order, as in an appeal to the division bench, which was clubbed together and heard by Justices Kribakaran and Velu Murugan. and they delivered this very significant judgment. Some of the key observations that were made. I mean, I am not going to be going into all the observations, just to highlight a few points. For initiating this discussion and hearing the eminent legal luminaries and personalities and thought leaders on the subject. So the court observed that if religious intolerance is going to be allowed, it is not good for a secular country like India. Intolerance in any form by any religious group has to be curtailed and prohibited. This was stated in the context of the Muslims seeking a ban on the Hindu processions in the village. So the court also said merely because one religious group is dominating a particular locality, it cannot be a ground to prohibit celebration of religious festivals and processions of other religious groups through those streets and roads. The court also observed that if it is to be accepted, this kind of a condition is to be accepted, then a day will come when a particular religious community, which is predominantly occupying the area, will not allow people belonging to other religious groups even to use roads for movement, transportation, and normal access, including marriage processions and such other community events. So the court also observed that the temples are there for decades together, merely because the religious groups got settled in a locality and had become vociferous. They cannot object to the custom of taking temple processions through all the streets of the village. Consequent upon this objection, it cannot be prevented. These processions cannot be prevented. The court also observed that intolerance of a particular religious group is exhibited by objecting to the festivals which have been conducted for decades together, and there cannot be any condition or ban on such kind of processions. So it also significantly said that if the majority community in India imposes such kind of a ban, then the religious minorities would not be able to survive or conduct their own community happenings, events in the localities all across India, because India is a Hindu majority nation. So these kind of, these are some of my own words. I'm not exactly, quoting from the judgment, just to highlight what were the takeaways from the court's pronouncements. That's all. Advocate G. Karthikeyan, he was the arguing advocate on behalf of the Hindus of the Kalathur village in this particular case before the Madras High Court. Advocate Karthikeyan has over 3 decades of law practice under his belt. And has until recently served as the Assistant Solicitor General of Government of India at the High Court of Madras.
Namaskar to everyone. This is a very vast subject, in fact. Though the subjects will take at least 1 hour for anyone to address, minimum. It's a very vast subject. But let me try to put it in a nutshell as much as possible, as easily as possible. I can finish it off. Some background about the state of Tamil Nadu is necessary in this juncture. Tamil Nadu is a Punya Bhumi. It has produced 18 known Siddhas, 12 Alvars, 63 Nayanmars, and their teachings and the life they live not only preaches spirituality but also humanity. They surpassed in all aspects. Some people preach, some people live. But these great people, they preached and lived. That's the greatness. And it's a land full of temples. Yeah, almost every temple belongs to 1,500 to 2,000 years old. And they are engineering marvels. You should come and see for that. And the literature, hundreds of literature. And the very first grammar book of the world was written 2,000 years before in Tamil. That is Tolgapiyam. And Rajendra Chola was the first emperor in the history to own a naval fleet for himself. With all such great background, now the situation is Tamil Nadu is really pity. Though I could start with all the proud and pride, it's very pitiable now. All this started during the British regime. E.V. Ramasamy Naikar, popularly known as E. Periyar. And then they started the Dravidar Kalagam movement, started preaching anti-God and anti-religion. A person who believes or prays the God belonging to the Christianity or Islam is holy. And a person who believes the Hindu gods and Hindu faith and practices Hindu traditions is an idiot, rascal, and barbarian. This is what is happening in Tamil Nadu today. When this started moving slowly inside the Tamil Nadu, there were several other things to be noted here. There were clusters of Islamic places started developing, like the Malappuram in Kerala. We have got clusters in Tamil Nadu also. For example, you can find Adiramappattinam in Tiruvarur district, Melapalayam in Tirunelveli district, Ukkadam belt in Coimbatore, Ambur and Vaniyambadi in Vellore district, Kayalpattanam in Tuticorin district, Keelakkarai in Ramnad district, and every district has got a cluster similarly. And in those places, the Hindu population has been slowly ousted, and no Hindus could reside in that area, within that area. Only Muslims can reside. And similarly, the coastal belts of the southern Tamil Nadu, especially like the Kanyakumari district, Tirunelveli district, Tuticorin district, etc., it came like that. The Christian missionaries have started their onslaught and started converting. And mostly the shores of Kanya, of these districts, they are all filled with Christians. In many places, Vinayak Chaturthi processions we are not able to take. Wherever there is a mosque, even in the main road, you say there is a mosque, you don't go there. So all these issues had led to the situation where the Muslims and Christians in Tamil Nadu are making hay and merry, and the Hindus are treated as second grade or third grade citizens for that matter. So this is one such issue, this Veegalathur issue. The background of the case is this. For almost 300 to 400 years, the Mariamman temple used to have celebration of 3 days function. And for the information, all over Tamil Nadu, there are Mariamman temples. And on particular months, every village will have particular months for celebration, yearly celebration. 3 days to 7 days, they'll celebrate the function. And every day, the temple cart will be taken around the town in a particular road. In this Veegalathur also, for the past 400 years, the temple cart was taken around in a particular way, starting from the temple, this road, come back to the temple. Till 2015, all was fine. And all on a sudden, a Muslim filed a writ petition before the High Court. See, it is true they have been taking processions, Hindu goddess procession in the street before, but now there is a mosque in that road, and both sides we are all Muslims there, so Hindus should not come there. It is haram for us to allow there. So that came to me, and then that writ petition was dismissed. Next year there was another writ petition, that was also dismissed. And the court directed the police to give protection for the Hindus. And what happened was, in the year 2018, unfortunately, an officer, new DSP, he passed an order obliging the Muslims for the best known reasons for all of us. He curtailed the procession to 1 per day. The function will be like this. First day, 2 processions, one in the morning, one in the night. Second day, 2 processions, one in the morning, one in the night. And the third day, 1 procession, one in the morning. And the third procession was the sprinkling of turmeric waters. And that is like, purely scientific and medical issue. Sprinkling of this thing with turmeric water means cleansing of germs and viruses. So the officer passed an order, only 1 procession. Then we went to the court. The single judge said, why don't you go on a compromise? You settle it yourselves. And then advocate commissioner was appointed. There was a talk, there were meetings. And then we thought that first 2 days, okay. The third day, the sprinkling of turmeric water, we will drop. Because their main contention was, one of the main contention was, sprinkling of turmeric water falls on the mosque buildings and also the houses of the Muslims. And then Allah, it's haram for Allah. So it's hurting our sentimental feelings. He said, okay, we will give up the third day procession. First two we'll take up. All both of us agreed. Judge also passed an order. But unfortunately, what has happened was there was a typing mistake which reduced 4 processions to 2 processions. So I mentioned there was a petition for modification before the single judge stating this is the issue. It was a consent order. It's a typing mistake. Court may modify the order. And judge asked the other state, the Muslim Council for the Muslims, what do you say? It was a consent order after all and it's a mistake, typing mistake, we'll rectify it. They say, no, we are going back. We don't want any compromise. Let this order be there. So the order stood as what the officer had passed the order. Then no other go, we had to take it to writ appeal. And in the writ appeal, this order came to be passed. And just some areas of the writ appeal, our main contentions were this. There cannot be any restriction for having procession on the roads or streets which are meant for common passage. What second issue raised by us was that merely because a particular section of people or group are owning properties in a road or a street, it cannot be a factor to prohibit the celebration of other religious procession. And 3, if at all any power is available with the police or revenue authorities, it's only the power to regulate and not to prohibit. And 4, as far as the permission granted by the learned single judge for first day festival is concerned, there is no problem. And the petition is only agree with regard to the restricted permission granted for so and so. So these are all the issues. And only point raised by the Muslim Council was that there are no Hindus residing in that street now. So they come here for no purpose. They come here only to irritate us. Let them not come in the street. So this was the only ground raised by them. If religious intolerance is going to be allowed, it is not good for a secular country. Intolerance in any form by any religious group has to be curtailed and prohibited. In this case, intolerance of a particular religion group is exhibited by objecting for the festivals which have been conducted for decades together, and the procession through the streets and roads of the village are sought to be prohibited, stating that the area is dominated by Muslims and therefore there cannot be any Hindu festival or procession through the locality. India is a secular country, and merely because one religious group is living in majority in a particular area, it cannot be a reason for not allowing other religions festivals or processions through that area. If contention of the private respondent is to be accepted, then it would create a situation in which minority people cannot conduct any festival or procession in most of the areas in India. If resistance is being exhibited by one religious group and it is reciprocated by the other religious groups, there would be chaos, riots, religious fights, causing loss of bloodlines, destruction of properties. Consequently, the secular character of a country will be destroyed or damaged. And just only one line which is very important. This actually, you should appreciate the judge for this. The judge says, men may be communal, men may have religion, but roads do not have. Roads are secular. And saying this, giving this finding, the court has passed an order directing all religious festivals can go through in any part of India in every public street. So this is what it has ended up with. Now, to complete with just one line I would add. In this country, unfortunately, we all know secularism means appeasement of minorities. So how only tolerance means whatever Muslims and Christians do, you bear with. You don't oppose them. And you have no rights. If you ask for a rights, you are intolerant. This is exactly what tolerance and intolerance in this country means as far as the religious area is concerned. High time, we all awake. We also create awareness among the public in this issue all around and see that the Bharat is saved from the onslaught of anti-national elements, at least now, from now. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Advocate Karthikeyan ji. Thank you very much. Thank you for highlighting some of the major issues that Tamil Nadu is facing currently, and India is also facing.